Hi, my name is Thomas Gibbs with US Franchise Visa, and in this video, we will discuss the franchise opportunity La Vida Massage with Debbie Doolin, Director of Franchise Development for La Vida Massage for the past several years. Prior to working in-house for La Vida Massage, she was a franchise consultant with many franchise concepts. She began this career a little over 10 years ago, and prior to that, she and her husband had a very successful 30-plus year career owning and operating multi-use, large facility fitness and wellness clubs. So she certainly has a background in franchising on many different angles. And she remains passionate about anything related to physical fitness, wellness, and nutrition. And most importantly, her priority is always on being the well-being and strong support system for her family. So Debbie, thank you for being on the call.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us kind of the overview of the brand, the who, what, where of the opportunity.
Okay, sure. Well, La Vida Massage was founded in Brighton, Michigan back in 2008 by a gal called Peggy Davis. Peggy still remains involved in the day-to-day operation of Vida. And basically, they kind of came on the heels of Massage Envy, as some of the other franchise brands did as well. Took what seemed like a very successful industry and model for a recurring membership type of concept. And Vida brought into it basically the IT component. So we were the first ones to come on with, web-based software, online bookings, and we've always been on the cutting edge of that with regard to mobile app bookings and individual websites for our franchise partners. So that's basically where our footprint started. However, at this point in time, though we continue with that as well, the main focus of the brand is real strong support on their franchisees with reference to treating them as a guest as if they were coming into a guest in our home, and hope that that translates into the operation with the members and guests of their facilities.
Awesome. Okay, so it sounds like a lot of what La Vida offers is going to be technology in particular for the owner and for the customer. Is that right?
Yes.
Great.
And again, I say that's what kind of the footprint that we started in. However, the daily mission and the vision that they see for their franchisees, it's always focusing on that guest-centric mindset. So, making sure our franchisees are successful, giving them really one-on-one support, which is unique now to the industry as we remain privately held, and, really focusing on their success.
Awesome. No, that's great. How many locations do we have across the country?
There are 50 locations in operation across the country. We really do focus on awarding franchises as opposed to just handing them out to anybody that has an interest. So we have a very strong network of owners, very boutique in size, so it's a very one-on-one relationship in the franchise network. We consider ourselves very family franchise friendly.
Great. Okay. What are the services that we would be offering to our client base?
So if you're talking as a La Vida Massage owner and the guests that come into your center, you're basically offering any type of wellness or therapeutic massage for the first year that you open, and any types of modalities. If an owner wants to work more entrepreneurial and perhaps target a specific group, maybe sports massages or senior massages, depending on their demographic, they can do that as well. After they've completed 1 year of operation, they can add any type of skincare services that they'd like to do, whether it's, facials, waxing, things like that. We do keep ourselves in that wellness and therapeutic space. That's kind of how we differentiate ourselves as a brand.
Okay. And since the massage, category of service is the core, is that a one-time fee when the customer comes in? Is there a membership offered? Is there like a discount per massage that way for the client? How does that work?
Great question. So when a guest comes in as a first-time guest into a facility, they will have a service at an introductory rate that we remain consistent throughout the network so that, nobody undercuts anybody else's pricing. But the model is basically a membership model similar to a fitness model where there's recurring revenue coming in every month to the owner. That's the strong foundation of what the industry's strengths are when you're looking at a business model. Those services that they have as a member moving forward are always at discounted preferred pricing.
Okay.
Hope they answered that clearly.
Yeah. So we can, as a client, we can come in, whenever we want for a one-off massage, or we can get a better price and come in regularly and pay a membership. And the owner, obviously, we want that because that's going to build our business.
100%. So there are basically 4 revenue streams within the model. One would be the membership recurring revenue. And then there's that ongoing guest traffic as being the secondary, along with added services. So although your membership will give you one service per month, you're welcome to come in as often as you'd like. You can come in once a week for a massage, once a week for a facial, and then you would just pay those discounted pricing points. The other 2 revenue streams, since I mentioned it, just to, as an adjunct, would be gift card revenue for people interested in purchasing gift cards for friends and family during holiday seasons, as well as retail products.
Okay, great. That's probably a pretty big boost, from the last week of November to probably the last week of December. Do you know what
Tremendous
of sales typically come in annually? I would think it's got to be more than 10%.
It's very significant. Most centers on average in this industry will be about 20 to 25% of gift card revenue overall, with about 80% of that revenue coming into an owner in that 5-week period.
Wow.
So it is so if you say, when is a good time to open a Vida massage, if you can do your due diligence and get yourself open like in early fall and get yourself seasoned for a holiday season, it's a nice ramp up schedule.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. So I think you said that 80% of the annual gift card volume will come in those 5 weeks.
Pretty much.
Wow.
On average, yeah, significant.
Great. So do we need a background in management or in wellness or in massage to be able to become, considered a qualified potential franchisee?
What you need are people skills and the passion to want to make people feel good. If you can come that with a strong work acumen, you're welcome in the network if you're financially qualified. So you don't need to be someone who comes out of health and wellness or someone who has a massage therapy license. We basically are looking for the downsized executive, the couple that wants to own a lifestyle business and just enjoy the career path that they take. No special requirements. Again, most specifically people skills and qualified financially.
Okay. Speaking of the financial side, what does that look like? What would we need to be considered qualified?
So we like to see a liquidity of anywhere from 120,000 to 150,000, with a net worth of about $500,000 is pretty much, we feel you could get in comfortably and, be able to support yourself through the ramp up period. And we do have preferred lender that we work with, so we can also assist somebody in getting the lending that they need to finish the project. But that's kind of the minimal profile we look for when you come on board for education.
Okay. And if we were thinking about wanting to develop multiple units, are the requirements higher or are there suggested guidelines?
So what we do is, if you might need a little more liquidity in order to do those multiple licenses, but we do have a 3-pass discounted license option for somebody who comes in qualified both financially and also, again, that business acumen or business background. We do, however, require that they open their first center for the first year before they can start developing that second and third license. So theoretically, they should be able to have the funding in place once that second and third location begins to be developed.
Okay, that makes sense. Tell us a little bit about the training initially and then the support that goes throughout the life of the franchise.
Okay, so initially upon signing into the franchise family with Vida Massage, they would attend a 5-day training in Brighton, Michigan prior to opening their center. So we do that one-on-one. We don't believe in having group trainings when somebody's opening up a business. It's very hand-holding. And then the first few days that they open their center, our director of operations or the CEO of the company, one of those two will be on board with them, actually assisting them in those first 4 to 5 days of the business opening up. Ongoing, they've got the director of operations with them one-on-one for any questions that they have on a daily basis. They've also got the personal cell phone of the CEO for questions that they might have on a daily basis. But there is an in-house marketing team that works with them on all of the marketing, advertising, branding, both pre-opening, grand opening, and ongoing. All of that can get customized depending on the demographic they're in and where they focus in their center. So there's always that one-on-one support. We do have an IT person at corporate that works with them should they have any questions and ongoing concerns with their software, their computer systems. And then we do have monthly webinars for the owners that they can get on, similar to the call you and I are having, where they go through ongoing training. So there's also portals for them so they can do webinars that are pre-recorded if they have new staff hires, if they want to have them watch some of those pre-recordings. There's a lot of hand-holding on the initial training as well as the ongoing training.
Okay. There was something you said in there that made me think about the therapists. Now, we're not training these therapists in massage. They're already coming to us licensed and insured. Is that fair to say?
100%.
Okay.
So when you're training staff, it's basically more your front desk reception staff, the people that greet guests when they come in, the people that answer the phones, book appointments, answer questions. However, the massage therapist, there are some protocols as far as the Vida guest process that we want them to learn and understand when they come on board as a staff member. But they all do need to be licensed on their own and come on board with that background.
Okay. Does Vida Massage offer any ongoing therapeutic training specifically to the therapists, or is that more left to their own kind of niche and development of their own skills?
As a massage therapist, they need to do continuing ed credits to maintain their certifications and license. So typically on the service side, they're pretty much on their own as far as enhancing their serviceability. We do work with the staff members, however, with ongoing hands-on training with some of the skincare products, the oils that we offer, and things that can enhance the service to a guest. So those things have ongoing training that both the massage therapist as well as the front desk reception go through.
Okay, great. So if we said, yes, we want to open a Vida Massage, there was an award process that took place, everyone's happy to get started, what would that first year look like for us? Obviously we gotta find a location, we gotta build it out, we gotta staff it, but could you maybe give us a couple minutes on that? We could probably talk for an hour just about that.
We could talk a really long time.
But what does that look like from the time that we've signed? Basically tell us, what is our life going to look like for that first year?
Okay, so you get welcome to the Vida franchise family. And first thing, boots on the ground, we will recommend that you meet with a local commercial business real estate broker that knows the immediate area of where you're looking, and we'll tell you what our criteria is. So you will have to be where there's an anchor store like a Trader Joe's or a Bed Bath & Beyond or a Whole Foods, something that's a little on the high end, but something where people frequent on a regular basis. So there are certain traffic requirements that we give them, both demographic, traffic patterns, and shopping center requirements. Once they meet some of those criteria and they have a selection to choose from, we go through them one-on-one along with their broker on the pros and cons of each location. So they get assistance with the site selection, which then goes on to the lease negotiation, and then of course we'll help them as that lease progresses. Once they sign on with the landlord, now if there's some TI money, which could be tenant improvement money that the landlord provides, we'll typically help them with the layout of the location, depending on what the location, the condition it's in when they receive it. Is it a new center that's a total shell, or was it something before and now their walls have to be knocked down? So we kind of guide them through that process. While that's happening, about 3 to 4 months out, they'll work with the corporate marketing team that's going to help them on pre-launching all of this coming soon marketing and promoting and search engine and all the things that they really need as an owner that, you know, typically if you weren't buying into a franchise system, you'd have to figure it out on your own. We're there to guide them and help them through the process. So that all takes place in the beginning stages. Once they get to the grand opening and there's, you know, ribbon cuttings and members, you know, pre-membership sign-ups and, you know, grand opening member sign-ups and all of those things, that's when we're with them hands-on those first few days to make sure that all of that transitions smoothly while they've got a brand new staff looking to service guests. So that's the initial stages. Once they get to like the 3rd month, the 4th month, the 5th month, things like that, they kind of comfortably get into this new business acumen that they just purchased. The membership base grows. You're, you know, hopefully signing people, bringing in a, you know, significant amount of guest traffic per month, and then hopefully taking those guests that come in for services, sharing the member benefits program, where now these people come on as your every month recurring revenue member that, you know, you see them on a weekly basis or a bi-monthly basis. So that's like the day in the life of in the very beginning stages. As the business matures, they can take a little bit more of a less active role in the day-to-day, stay involved, looking at their, you know, web-based software to see what's happening in their center, calling their staff, showing up a few hours a day, perhaps showing up 3 days a week. They don't have to be there, you know, ongoing as a full-time job. But we do suggest that first 6 or 8 months to really build a strong foundation, be as hands-on as they possibly can. And then once they've established the business with a strong foundation, it pretty much is you know, almost like the membership goes over recurring revenue. The business generates itself as something that's somewhat self-sufficient.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably not the right word to use, but you know what I mean. I don't mean self-sufficient, but basically, you know, where they have the opportunity to have a life outside La Vida, as long as they maintain that day-to-day, nurture it, take care of it, and just make sure that those guests are getting the services and that we're in the forefront of making them feel good when they leave.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, once you've got it built out and it's staffed and you have a membership, it's all about the client experience, right? And
exactly, 100%.
If we have the
You've
staff,
got the language.
yeah, with the right staff in place, the self-sufficiency is much more easy. Obviously, you know, we're still managing and checking in and doing things like that to make sure the business is running well, but you know, I can speak from past experience having owned multiple units of retail, that it does become more self-sufficient in time. I don't think any franchisee would tell you that they put in 0 hours a month, right? That's not going to happen. But
well, I know, I am sure you get the question all the time from people, can I do this absentee? And at the end of the day, absentee is not you don't want to invest in a business and run it absentee. But if your idea in the long run is what we would consider semi-absentee, which means involved day to day, but you don't physically have to be there, that you can do.
Yeah.
You know, but we highly recommend those first 6 or 8 months to really, you know, dive in, be a part of it, set the culture with your staff, let the members know how much you appreciate them, the guests that come in, how much you appreciate them trying you at the center, and hopefully, again, maintain that strong reputation in your area.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there maybe a recent franchisee that's come on that maybe you could share a success story with, someone that maybe was a little struggled to find real estate, and then they found it, and now they got tons of members, or maybe someone that jumped right out of the gate right away and did really well, but maybe a success story or two to kind of paint a picture.
One of the things that I've noticed, being with the company for quite a few years, is that everybody has their own success story and how they got there. So it's kind of hard on the spot to single somebody out and say, okay, this is the one. We typically bring people on. What?
That's what I'm here to do. Put you on the spot.
Yeah. So that's a tough question. But I have to say, it's not, one of our highest grossing centers is one of the smallest centers in the network. So I'm not even going to tell you that size made a difference. I really do think that it's the culture that you create as an owner and the welcome environment that you bring to the table. Those are our strongest centers. And those are always the ones, if you were to say, okay, Debbie, single it out, I could probably handpick, 10 or 15 locations that, completely excel throughout the network. And if you were to take all those owners and line them up, you'd find that they all have these tremendous people skills and tremendous work ethic. And it's not so much where they're located as much as what they bring to the table. So I can't think of one specific that I would say this is the story. We typically bring people on that we feel are going to be successful. And sometimes we're, a little disappointed. Maybe we misread somebody and we thought they'd be a top performer, but maybe they're not one of the top performers. But at the end of the day, if you were to speak to them as a Vida owner, I can 100% with conviction tell any potential franchisee, you can call any of our owners and they will give us accolades on the support system. So that's the good news about a small network. We've got a really nice niche of owners. Some have success, maybe not as financially as others, but yet they feel good about what they do. So they still go to work every day feeling good about themselves. So it's kind of a hard answer, but I think hopefully I answered it a little bit.
No, for sure. I think in every franchise system that has gotten to, past 10 or 15 units or so, or franchisees, there's lots of stories, and really hearing them from the franchisees directly is the best. If you're researching franchises, that's one of the most important parts in the validation process that you go through to make a decision about buying a franchise. Debbie knows about that, having been a consultant and now having been a developer. And I know about that, having been a franchisee and being a consultant also. It's critical. I would argue that it's more important than what you might hear from any other party involved in the process, be that your accountant, your lawyer, your contact with whatever company you might be looking at. So Debbie, indirectly, you make a very good point. The franchisees are critical to talk to and hear their stories.
And they've all been, as you know, doing this, and you were a franchisee. Every single one of these franchisees has been through the same process of this potential candidate. So to make that phone call to them, we're limited on what we share because we want to educate them. We don't necessarily want to share what the experience will be because you want them to really feel the sincerity of do the research and get the information. So if they go to the resource of who went through the same exact process, they'll get a much better feel for the information they receive. That's our opinion. And I obviously you agree.
Yeah. A lot of what we do at US Franchise Visa is coaching folks through the process of getting answers and feeling confident that they're making a good investment decision. Because, for a lot of people, we've just never done this before. We've never really a franchise. We've never really taken the time to read through a franchise disclosure document or understand the pros and cons about franchising. If you have more interest in franchising, feel free to check us out at usfranchisevisa.com. And Debbie, if folks want to learn more about La Vida Massage, where can they go, or how can they get a hold of you?
Well, you could definitely go on, LaVidaMassageFranchise.com, and you'll click around some information, and it'll give you a little bit about the experience, about becoming a La Vida owner, and a little bit about the background of the franchise. And then, of course, it will link directly to me. So they are welcome to pick up the corporate phone and call me. They're welcome to email me for information, and that's what I'm here for. So I know you had asked me about us working with E-2 visa candidates and EB-5 candidates, and I certainly can on that as well. The EB-5 is going to be the higher investment in that, we won't go to those underprivileged areas, but can certainly help any of your candidates that way and help them along with that education process and the immigration attorneys that they might work with to get them into the La Vida system should they want to sign on.
Okay, great. No, that's good to know. Thank you for that. Well, Debbie, thank you so much for being on the call. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.